What are the most serious of police misconduct? Do you have any idea? When the police shoot a person and more so if that person was innocent? Here are the videos of cops shooting the wrong person. The sequence of events unfolded when Morrison became aware of a car executing a turn, seemingly in an attempt to evade him, as per the court testimonies. Intrigued by this, he decided to tail the vehicle and soon discovered that its rear license plate light was not functioning, which was a clear violation of Montana law. Fueled by a mix of curiosity and a sense of duty, Morrison approached the passenger side of the car and boldly opened the door. With a commanding tone, he instructed the passengers to raise their hands in the air or face dire consequences. He noticed a familiar face, Ramirez, whom he believed to be involved in a recent robbery and shooting. Fearing for his safety, Morrison quickly reacted and fired 3 gunshots into the vehicle, tragically resulting in the death of an unarmed passenger.
Moving your hands around so much. Hands up right now on top of the seats. I'm gonna shoot you. I will shoot you.
Watch this. As Officer Morrison reached for his gun and discharged his weapon 3 times, ending Ramirez's life. Now here's another dash cam footage, capturing Morrison in a state of distress, sobbing uncontrollably with his head resting on the hood of the police vehicle.
Experts say these situations can be volatile.
The jury deemed the shooting to be justifiable homicide. The toxicology report revealed that Ramirez had a significant amount of methamphetamine in his system. It is worth noting that Morrison was involved in another police shooting the year prior and was acquitted of any criminal charges as he had shot a suspect who was reaching for a BB gun. In response, the Ramirez family expressed their surprise at the verdict and mentioned their intention to pursue a civil lawsuit. During his testimony, Morrison said,
"Decision I've ever had to make. I wish I didn't have to make it."
Sometimes situations like these are so intense for the cops that they shoot a suspect, not even thinking if it's the right person, to regret it later, as you'll see in this next clip. But it's even more violent. Upon receiving a radio notification, Lieutenant Greg Brackle promptly rushed to a McDonald's parking lot near Central, where a drug bust was in progress.
Hands up! Hands up! Passenger, get your hands up! Put your hands where I can see them! Put your hands where I can see them!
His companions in a drug sting operation, Detective Grant and Detective Garcia, who were working undercover, managed to apprehend some suspect drug dealers while in their unmarked police vehicle. However, when Lieutenant Gregg arrived at the scene, he hastily drew his weapon without assessing the situation and made the worst mistake of his life. As Lieutenant Gregg carefully surveyed the scene, his trained eyes caught sight of an individual inside the vehicle gripping a gun and started shouting.
Hands where I can see them! Good! Good!
Without a moment's hesitation, his instincts kicked in, prompting him to take action. With precision and determination, he swiftly repositioned himself and discharged 2 shots, aiming to neutralize the immediate danger. Lieutenant Gregg continued to unleash a barrage of 6 additional rounds into the vehicle. In that adrenaline-fueled moment, he believed he had successfully eliminated the threat posed by the gun-wielding drug dealers. Yet the realization dawned on Lieutenant Gregg what a mistake he had made by pulling the trigger. That was his reaction.
No! Oh shit, that was Jacob! Fuck me! Fuck! Give me Jacob! Give me a shot! Get him! Fuck!
The lieutenant shot 8 bullets at Detective Jacob Grant, who was standing inside the vehicle aiming a gun at the suspect. He felt devastated as he realized his actions could ruin their lives.
Fuck! 4365! Jacob, hang in there, man! Jacob, man, hang in there, bro!
Detective Jacob Grant suffered extensive injuries to his vital organs, requiring him to undergo a series of 13 surgeries. Miraculously, he managed to survive and was awarded a settlement of $6.5 million, with the state covering his medical expenses. Although not charged by the district attorney, Lieutenant Greg Brackle faced the devastating consequences of losing his job. The cop never knew what the repercussions were for pulling the trigger on the wrong person. It was heart-wrenching for him and his operation. This gave a lesson to law enforcement officers that they must exercise caution and proper judgment in high-pressure situations because the ramifications can be severe, just like in the next case you're about to watch. The Titusville Police Department was en route to a call regarding a domestic violence incident on the day following Christmas, only to find out that the officer involved was pursuing the wrong individual. This tense moment culminated in a tragic event where 40-year-old James Lowry was shot in the back of the head. Joshua Payne exited his vehicle and ran after Lowry, attempting to apprehend him multiple times using a taser. It was reported that Lowry had drugs at the time of the incident. Lowry tried to evade capture by jumping over a fence with the cop in pursuit, leading to the fatal discharge of Payne's firearm. He was not only holding a gun but also a taser, which made this whole case even more complicated. Payne claimed that the shooting was accidental. However, he has since been charged with manslaughter in connection to the incident. The events that transpired serve as a stark reminder of the complexities and dangers law enforcement officers face in the line of duty, as well as the importance of thorough investigations and accountability in such cases. Here's what the chief of the department said.
You are under extreme stress. How do you know what you're going to do?
Lowry's sister claims that her brother was wrongfully shot, and she says her family will only get justice if the cop gets a penalty for killing her brother. However, these are not the only cases when a cop shot the wrong person, as the next case will show you how these cops regret acting on their impulsive decisions. But before getting to our last clip, be sure to subscribe if you enjoy the video and want to see more like this one. On the fateful day of August 11, 2023, law enforcement swiftly arrived at the scene following distressing reports of a man wielding a firearm amidst a heated dispute. The individual in question, identified as Lewis Gordon Hay, made a hasty retreat into a neighboring apartment upon catching sight of the approaching officers. This led to a tense standoff as he barricaded himself inside.
Officers need help. No. 213. No. I'll shoot you. No. I'll shoot you.
The officers swiftly subdued him, successfully entering the home. As they wrestled him to the ground, a tense struggle ensued, resulting in the officers shooting Gordon Hay in self-defense after he had fired upon them.
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay. He fired. Did you fire? I shouldn't have let go of gun.
In the heat of the moment, the officer acted on muscle memory when Gordon Hay fired first. Consumed by guilt, the officer was swept up in the intense emotions of the situation.
Get him out of here? No.
Upon noticing his agitation, fellow officers quickly decided to inspect him for gunshot wounds, understanding they may not have been aware of them at that moment because of the rush of adrenaline and the heightened stress he was experiencing. Subsequently, both officers were transported to the hospital, where it was determined that they had only sustained minor injuries from the scuffle with the suspect. Unfortunately, the suspect, who was in critical condition, was later declared deceased at the Advocate Christ Medical Center following the altercation. In the aftermath of the incident, both officers involved in the shooting were placed on 30-day administrative duty. The other officer expressed profound remorse for his actions, reflecting on the unfortunate outcome of the situation. These cases are true examples that sometimes even cops can make grave mistakes, carrying deep regrets in their hearts. It's hard to bear when you know you killed an innocent person, but there's another more devastating video on our channel that will show you what dire consequences the cops endure after making such wrong decisions. Don't forget to watch.